You are now tuned into a brand new episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K Sapp. Well, I hope everybody had a great Christmas with their family, but we back at it. Man, we got to talk about Cleveland Browns insider Jason Lloyd. He's under scrutiny and he's under fire and he's under attack from a lot of people saying that he's a flat out racist and he's being a hater towards Shedeur Sanders. But we're going to talk about it right after this. Well, guys, man, we got to talk about it, man. Jason Lloyd, man, Cleveland Browns insider, man. He's under attack. A lot of people are coming at Jason Lloyd. And you know, it all started when it was on UCSS last week when he had some things that he said about Shedeur Sanders. And a lot of people started attacking him because he sounded like a racist. Or was he just flat out hating on Shedeur Sanders? Now, Jason Lloyd really hasn't had any good things to say about Shedeur Sanders, and a lot of people are calling him out. A lot of people are putting him on blast. Now, we did see on UCSS, as we covered last week, G. Bush from the barbershop was on UCSS, and Jason Lloyd was on there, and he was talking reckless. He was talking reckless about Shedeur Sanders. And G. Bush, like he always does, he basically cooked, sliced, and glazed Jason Lloyd live on national television on UCSS. And a lot of people had responded to that video that dropped on UCSS. We did a reaction to it. A lot of people reacted to it, but a lot of people in the comments section says, what do you expect from Jason Lloyd? Jason Lloyd has been known as a borderline racist, a hater of Shedeur Sanders. And we just got to call it like it is, man. We got to keep a spade, a buck a buck. And we're going to talk about it. A lot of people have came to Shedeur Sanders' defense because some of the things that Jason Lloyd said was straight out asinine. And G. Bush eviscerated him for that. So for those that didn't hear what Jason Lloyd had to say and how Garrett Bush responded, let's take a listen to what he basically said when he was talking about Shedeur Sanders on how he tried to spin this whole narrative about Shedeur Sanders being the worst quarterback in the century and using these advanced metrics only when it comes to Shedeur Sanders and not going off of what your eye test sees in Shedeur Sanders. And you only do that with Shedeur Sanders and you're moving the goalposts. So you came up with these advanced metrics to base your theory on why Shedeur Sanders is the worst quarterback in the century. Also, you stated that he is not the guy. Cleveland needs to draft a quarterback. And then you go on to say some things where G. Bush had to step in and had to shut you down because you said these are things that are coming from people on the inside, which is a lie. That's another narrative that proved to be false, and you're just making stuff up. That's why a lot of people said that you're hating on Shedeur, and you borderline tweetering the racist card, the racist part of it. So let's take a listen to what he said, and then we'll come back and we'll wrap it up.
No.
Maybe there's a chance that if you do, there might be something. Remember that? Yeah, we don't have that problem. The quarterback's not here.
Yeah.
The quarterback's not here. They got to take quarterback in the draft.
Oh,
it's
really?
It's not Shedeur.
They will take a quarterback. The question is where they end up in the draft, and do they believe in Mendoza or more? Because right now, if they lose out, they're likely going to get the two.
And Jay's a clown.
They're not going to have to trade up. They're going to be in
if
position.
they don't have to trade up, I think they absolutely take one.
But
and they're in the two.
Well, you say they wouldn't have to trade up, but if they're the 2 spot and they only like one of the two quarterbacks, then
sure. But I don't think we're going to be in that spot. You're right. I don't think we're going to be in that.
Yeah,
spot.
I want to hear why.
Well,
why
they
you
like
feel-
both. They'd be fine.
I'm
you're
with
saying you think they like both?
I'm
No,
interested
yeah,
in hearing the
one
why.
Because you can say he needs more around him. You can say
And he
the
does. That's
offensive
fair.
line. You can say the offensive line isn't any good. Listen, the metrics will tell you, and there's more than the metrics. The metrics will tell you he is the worst quarterback this century by dropback per EPA. He's worse than Jamarcus
Okay,
Russell.
explain that. Like, I know we've talked about it before.
It
but for
takes
those that
into
might not know
account
that
down and
number.
distance, field position, home or away, time and score. It is the most all-encompassing metric that
Does
you
it
can
take
use
into
to
account
measure a
his
quarterback.
teammates?
It takes into account records. It takes into account everything. It is the most all-encompassing stat. And every time he drops back, the Browns lose more points than any quarterback since 2000, since True Media started marking this.
That is
It's
lying.
worse
How
than
many are we
Jamarcus
talking
Russell.
about here? It has to be hundreds.
It doesn't.
It's 133, I think. Is the number. Maybe more than that. I don't remember. But-
And we also know this: the Browns lean on those kind of metrics.
Yeah, but it's more than that.
harder
It's,
than anyone.
it's more than that. Like, he still doesn't know what he's looking at. He still doesn't flip protections. He doesn't know when he's hot. This isn't me saying this. I'm not an NFL. I've never claimed to be an NFL coach. This is people in that building will tell me he still doesn't know how to flip protections. He doesn't know when he's hot. He doesn't know what he's looking at. He can only throw to wide open receivers. He doesn't make tight window throws. He doesn't throw guys open. This is not the answer. These last 2 weeks were the opportunity coming off the Titans game to show that he can be the guy against playoff contenders, and he has not lived up to it. This is not.
Now you hear what Jason Lloyd had to say. Now, what does that sound like? Does that sound like a racist, or does it sound like a hater? Because he basically just told y'all guys that this is what they're telling him. But what I'm trying to understand, Jason, is from your own eye test, what are you seeing? Stop going off of what everybody else is saying. Give your own breakdown. See, that's why when they give these certain people these media credentials to be insiders, man, y'all stick to writing columns, man. Because when y'all talking from a perspective, from an open lens, y'all's lens is cloudy because y'all don't see things from your own lens. You're going off of what people are saying, which everything that you said from people that you said inside the building is a flat out lie. And we don't even have to play what G. Bush said, how he just broke you down, had you sitting there twiddling in your thumbs, because the way G. Bush broke it down, he straight ate you up. And like both Jason and Jay was trying to go at G. Bush, and he just clowned y'all. And that's why a lot of people came up in the comment section when we did the video talking about, now let's just keep a spade and a buck. Jason Lloyd is a racist. Now, we don't want to go down that route, but we're going to talk about it. That's why the question is he a racist of Shedeur Sanders, or is he just a flat out hater? Because he says nothing great about Shedeur Sanders. Everything is all negative and everything wants to move the goalpost. And like he said, with these advanced metrics and Jay piggybacking off of him, talking about this is what the Cleveland Browns use, that's a flat out lie. Because when did y'all start talking? Did y'all talk about the metrics with Baker Mayfield and all this stuff like that? How are you going to put Shedeur Sanders in a category with Jamarcus Russell? And it came to a point where G. Bush had to basically tell Jason Lloyd, oh, y'all don't want to talk about the 363 passing yards he had, the 3 touchdowns and things like that, and the rushing touchdown. He said, y'all don't want to talk about that. He ate you up when you said that he can't throw in tight windows. He proved to you that you was lying on that. He proved to you that you lying about his arm strength. He proved to you that you was lying about his scrambling ability and flipping protections and getting out of harm's way, taking less sacks, getting the ball away. He led the team 3 weeks in a row in rushing. He cooked you on that. So basically the question is Jason Lloyd being a racist, or he's just being a hater towards Shedeur Sanders? I want everybody in the comment section to let me know how y'all think about Jason Lloyd. I see everybody in the comment section, #salute. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, Hit the subscribe button. Turn your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball drops another hot banger. Oh, yeah, just in case I forgot. Tell a friend and tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for you. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, ASAP. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.